So Dr. Bryant had a crazy week with her Nick Cannon and Cam Newton videos going viral, podcast interviews going viral. Now, I know you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
So now we're going to go back through the Nick Cannon situation because he did say some pretty wild shit. Now, I haven't seen all of it, but I did see this clip and I wanted to dive into it because I think it's pretty wild. But this is what she had to say.
Okay.
I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? Yes, because I'm a man.
Right.
And
but not all men do that.
Yeah, first of all, Nick, I just want to stop real quick.
What?
Wait a minute. I feel like, what the First of all, where have you been since 2021? Because, nigga, you can't say shit like that on the radio, on any platform. Second of all, that is not a man thing being, preying on, no.
Preyed on.
I am a firm believer that you do not have to manipulate women into sex. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
Women can make that decision for themselves, and if she doesn't want to do something with you, you let it end at that. But we are never down with trying to trick someone or manipulate someone into doing something in any type, and really in any relationship is not valid, but especially in relationships like that. That's crazy work, Nick. What the
Crazy.
We don't want to blanket
I'm a
all
man,
men.
and I
all
will
men
take
do
advantage-
not pray and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans pray and manipulate, but in a man
Not
in a
in a
relationship,
praying way, not in a praying
if
way.
I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm gonna do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick.
So there.
So look, I'm gonna be honest. What the like?
Is he talking about spitting game? That's what he means?
But either way, that's wild to me. Because
Yeah.
it's not like I'm a big Nick Cannon fan. Nick Cannon has shouted me out, gave me my biggest shout out of my career. Love him. And again, this ain't the whole interview. Maybe we got it out of context. But nah, bro, I have a lot of respect for him. And I don't even think he's that type of person. He seems to be a real genuine person. So I think that's what was shocking to me for someone that I always thought was genuine. And not even him. From the way people speak about him, is that he's a genuine person. So I think it's like what you said. Maybe he's saying game, but and look, there are men that have a different set of rules for how they govern themselves with women versus how they govern themselves with men in just daily life. So maybe when he is talking about a woman, this is how he operates and thinks. And he may just be saying it more harsh, but in general, nah, none of that shit makes sense to me.
All the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low-functioning women.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that, at least in this context, that's a little judgmental. You know what I'm saying?
What she's trying to say, like the women you manipulate and prey on are low functioning.
It's hard for me to defend him, number one, because we don't have all the context, but also number two, he said it. So I would like to be like, well, if you have women who he's being completely honest with, they decide that they want to be a part of his life because he brings something to their life, whatever that negotiation may be, that they have to figure out for themselves. And that's what two consenting adults want to do, and they're happy, then that's cool. Yeah. But from the way he made it sound, was like, you didn't trick these hoes. And I'm like, we don't be tricking hoes no more. Like, that's not something we're supposed to be doing. So let's not do that. But yeah, so.
I'm quick to be like, we agree to disagree, so I'm out. I'll run, I'll detach, I'll act like, I'll shut down, I'll internalize. And I know that's not healthy. But just as a man, to stay away from conflict with any woman in my life, I'll just be like, we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I do think that these conversations are dope because we need to see basically more black men having therapy, and it's dope to have Cam Newton in. And even if you don't necessarily agree with everything that she says, that he says, the conversations are good conversations, and I like not just that we're having these conversations, but I like the level that the conversation is being had on. And that's something that I really am excited about. And I also want to help bring more to the culture is that high level conversations, because we've seen these conversations had or being played out ever since the Manosphere and the Kevin Samuels, like, you know, in the Kevin Samuels blow up kind of situation or time period or era. That's the best way to put it. And the conversations were had at a very low level, very basic, very brutal, very mean, very nasty, very back and forth, very emotional. It was more about entertainment and comedy instead of just getting in depth and letting the conversation just be good. And so that's one thing I appreciate, is that those conversations were that conversation and the one with Cam was also very entertaining, but they weren't done at a low level. And so regardless of how you feel about, you know, what was said, I think that at the end of the day, it's good information being had, and it's more conversations that we need to have more often.